Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Through the Monocle. Today we will be doing a watch along commentary of 2011's Hugo. As always, I'm your host, Grant Ingram, and not as always, I'm actually getting through the intro without sounding like a drunken idiot. Joining me today is a drunken idiot. It's Grant Skillen. How you doing, Grant?
Drunk apparently? I don't know. No, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I just had to throw you some shade. I'm not even gonna lie. Um,
I'm catching strays out here for literally no reason. There's no reason for me to be catching these strays.
I mean, it could be worse. I don't know how, but it could be worse. um, so today we're talking about Hugo, which is a Scorsese movie. It's the first
No
Scorsese
way.
movie I ever saw. It's the only one I've ever seen in theaters. I went with my dad when I was like 8 years old, and just remember loving it. Um, it's a weird Scorsese. The movie's for kids. It's rated PG, and it's fantastic. If you don't believe it's fantastic, just look at that critic score, 93-78 split, which is kind of weird, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah, that is a unique split to have. I mean, really, either way, I would say though it's more strange to have a higher critic score and then a lower audience score.
Especially for this kind of movie, right? Like if it was an art house film, like a Joker, I get why Joker splits weird.
Hmm.
But this is like a kids movie, which I guess it's more of an art house kids movie, but it's still a kids movie. This film, it stars Asa Butterfield, which if you've been watching the show for a while, first off, congratulations. Secondly, this is the second Asa Butterfield movie we've seen after Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's got Chloe Grace Moretz, who I swear has been in other things since that I have seen. And I'm trying to figure out what some of those things would have been. She played herself in a few things. She was in the Addams Family. But like I could have sworn she was in things that I would like. I know that name and I don't know why. But yeah, she's in
It's
stuff.
a name.
Anyway, like that's a name you don't forget. I
Yeah,
could have
that's not a normal name. Well,
yeah, but,
you know what I mean.
and then it stars
You wouldn't mistake her name.
right, and like I know she's been in stuff. I'll have to figure out what exactly, but it also has Sir Christopher Lee, Sir Ben Kingsley, Sacha Baron Cohen, Ray Winstone, who we remember from The Departed. And like that's most of the big names. I believe Jude Law's in it.
Hmm.
Yeah, like pretty decent cast for a kids movie. It's almost like it's a Martin Scorsese movie or something. I don't know. This one doesn't have Robert De Niro or Leonardo DiCaprio in it, so it's kind of a weird one. I didn't realize he had even done this until like maybe 2 years ago. Of course, I didn't really care about directors until maybe 2 years ago, but it is what it be. Yeah. So we're gonna do a live commentary as always. Enjoy the suffering. But first, answer this week's question, which is, what is your favorite movie that was made for kids, but you still think holds up as an adult? Or if you're a kid, what's your favorite kids movie? Great. And make sure to subscribe and like as always. That should go without saying at this point. But yeah, without further ado, Grant, are you ready?
I am ready. Yes.
Remember, it's 3, 2, 1, go. We go on. Go. Are you at 0, 0, 0, 0?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are panning down. So if you'll remember, after The Departed, Scorsese left Warner Brothers, and this is the first movie he made since then, I believe.
Interesting. Interesting.
So yeah, Paramount, everyone's favorite. He's got a new movie coming out that I'm excited to go see. I think I'm going to see it tomorrow as we record this. Killers of the Flower Moon, and it should be good. Ooh,
EA Sports. It's in
to
the
the
movie.
EA Sports. It's in the DLC.
Yep.
Gosh.
It's behind a paywall. There's up Asa Butterfield. I know him from Ender's Game.
Oh, yeah.
He was Ender.
He was also Jacob in Miss Peregrine's Home.
I am right. The kid's name was Ender, right? I'm not stupid.
I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. I do know you're stupid, but other than that,
Yeah, his name is Ender. Okay, good. I read the book, at least the first book. I read Ender's Game growing up. And then they came out with the movie. I'm like, oh, cool. And then I watched it like 2 in the morning when I realized it was a thing.
it also sucked, I believe, because most of Asa Butterfield's book adaptations suck. Oh, for the record, I'm eating a Walmart apple pie, the sugar-free one today, for those of you who tune in just to see what I'm eating. I love the music.
He looks young. He gotta be younger in this movie than he was in Ender's Game, for sure.
Well, no dip, Grant. When did Ender's Game come out?
I don't remember.
I'll tell you when Ender's Game came out. Well, Ender's Game came out 2 years later, Grant. So
only 2 years?
Yeah, but keep in mind movies film before they release.
Really? No way. That's crazy.
Yeah. Asa Butterfield is 26. So in 2013, he'd have been 16. In this movie, he'd be 13. Checks out. Or, well, he'd be younger than 13. He'd be like 11 or 12 when it filmed. Yeah. This is a cool scene. Also, my fork just jumped off of my plate, so this is going to be fun.
What's the movie with Tom Hanks? I know I've already asked it. What's the movie with Tom Hanks? He's like the grouchy old Russian man. Is that a movie?
I don't know the one you're talking about. Give me more plot details. We'll see.
I haven't seen it, but it's like Tom. No way. No. I said Tom Hanks is a. Where is this? Hold on. Otto. A man called Otto.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either. I just remember my grandma seeing it and was talking about it.
And what does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
For some reason, I thought this was that at first. When you said Hugo, I'm like, oh, is it that Tom Hanks movie? If you remember that.
Yeah, no, Tom Hanks is not a good actor, and Martin Scorsese only works with good actors and children.
And Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley's a good actor.
It's jokes.
I forgot he was in this movie, to be honest with you. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Like, legitimately, probably 3 or 4 years.
It's been so long that I've never seen it.
I believe it won a bunch of awards, too. I'll have to look.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm. It did.
Nothing has happened so far.
Slowly it's happening. Wow.
Oof.
Imagine being Asa Butterfield.
Ben Kingsley would actually be scary if you were that age, getting like held by him going, give me what's in your pockets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where's the lamb sauce?
So it won the Oscar for cinematography. It was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Director. It was nominated for Best Writing or Best Adapted Screenplay. It was nominated for editing. It it was nominated for Best Costume Design, music written for motion pictures. It won for Best Achievement in Sound Mixing. It won for Best Achievement in Sound Editing. It won for Best Achievement in Visual Effects, which this is a sweet effect. I love this. This is based on a book. It's like a picture book. It's fantastic. And it won for Best Achievement in Art Direction. Daggum.
Your mom. Echo.
Wow. So I want to be clear here. Ben Kingsley has now stolen from a 12-year-old boy and is calling him a thief. I mean, obviously he's a thief, but like,
Why is he running like that?
why would
I saw the guy had like something on his leg. It's just funny.
Mm-hmm. Sacha Baron Cohen, by the way, known for Borat. He's also playing Mephisto in the Marvel Universe now. Interesting stuff. Also, I am totally wearing a Superman T-shirt just because Scorsese says that Superman or superhero movies aren't cinema. He's right, but I still like my T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I love the color. Like a lot of Scorsese's movies are either dim or very bright. Like either dim or well lit, I guess is what I'm saying. So either very. If I can stop saying the same thing and get my point across, they're either lacking in color or they're just very bright. This one is like a good balance between them. There we go. English. I do speak it.
They're either your shirt or your skin color. So I would have used mine, but I'm wearing a blue shirt.
Fair enough. I mean, you've seen now 3 of his movies, right? Would you disagree with me?
No, this is definitely a different tone for sure.
No. It's also not rated R. So it only gets 3 F-bombs in this PG movie.
Yeah. Still can't believe Howard the Duck is PG. The 80s were built different.
The 80s were built different.
Yeah, he's locked into the door.
I'm not gonna lie, I apparently have my subtitles on in Arabic, so this is helpful.
Have you heard of the thing called HeyGen?
No.
It's a new AI software where you can insert a video of you speaking in English or any language, and it'll translate it into perfectly spoken, fluent, like perfectly fluent, like
A different
speech in
language.
another language,
That's weird.
and it'll deep fake your mouth as if you're actually saying it. And like when it says it with your accent. It's absurd. My macroeconomics professor showed us earlier. There's a I say older, but there's a lady in our macro class who is from West Germany, grew up in West Germany and grew up speaking German. And he played the video of him speaking it, and it like translated to German. And she's like, "That is flawless German, formal and like."
So what I'm hearing is we need to convert some of our interviews to other languages for clicks. I don't even know what the legal or moral.
The software is a little pricey.
Oh, it costs money. Never mind.
It's you get one free video a month, or it's like $50 a month, for unlimited.
How long can that video? We'll talk about this off air. Look at the clock with all the little lights. It's cool, isn't it?
It takes time. His video was 30 seconds. He said it took him 10 minutes to process it.
Wow.
For a 30-second video, but it was really cool.
I mean, I don't care about process.
I don't know what popped that into my mind, but
this is so gorgeous. I love the color grading, which I mean, you can see why it won for cinematography, right? Like, it's gorgeous. And the music is amazing, which is why it won that Oscar too. But the fact that all the blues and the reds pop out makes me happy. It feels like 1931 did back when I was there.
Yeah, so Christopher Lee was born in 1922. He was the only actor, I think, in the whole movie where he lived in the age that this movie was set, because the movie was set in 1931.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I believe this has the only supporting actor, but still interesting.
That is fascinating. I wonder if Scorsese would have been dead, or not dead.
Would have been dead in 31.
He wasn't born till 33. Or no, 43. 43. He's 80. Scorsese and Christopher Lee were very good friends, but up until 2010 had never worked together. Lee's response when he was asked by Scorsese to appear in Hugo was, quote, "It's about time."
So in 2010, he would have been 88.
Gosh.
Rest in peace, Christopher Lee.
Rest in peace.
So the guitarist we saw earlier was modeled after a famous Belgian guitarist named, I'm messing this up horribly, Django Reinhardt.
That's exactly how you pronounce that.
They went so far as to have the actor's left hand match his, where he didn't use his fourth and fifth fingers because they were burnt in a fire. Wow. Hugo.
Apparently, this movie, I don't remember how I saw it, but apparently it was had the best use of 3D that James Cameron had ever seen. Called it a masterpiece.
That's in the IMDb trivia right here.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, the opening track shot that ended at the train station, like of the city, took a year to render. It took 1,000 computers.
On 1,000, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is nuts.
Ben Kingsley based his characterization of George... We're going to call him George.
On George Méliès.
On Martin Scorsese.
I speak a very light amount of French and can pronounce French things.
I don't want to get in trouble.
I don't think the French are a rude people, but I don't think they're going to be mad at you for mispronouncing Méliès. Like, that's just gorgeous.
So like the 3D like cinematography for it, Scorsese directed wearing clip-on 3D lenses on his prescription glasses.
Marty, everybody. Marty.
It worked, I guess. I mean,
when he decided to adapt the invention of Hugo Cabret, his first and only choice to portray Georges Méliès was Ben Kingsley, because of course it was.
I guess Scorsese did have a PG movie before this, which was The Age of Innocence in 1993. It had been 18 years.
The Age of Innocence. I know that movie, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
This is actually crazy. This was his first theatrical movie in 12 years that did not star Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah, Bringing Out the Dead in 1999 did not have him, and then every movie he did between that and this one had him.
Yeah, Age of Innocence starred Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder and Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, that's a big movie too. Oof.
Okay, Hermione.
Not without. I love how this is set in France, but they all have British accents.
Mhm.
I can't tell you. I'm French. This is the first movie Scorsese ever shot in digital.
Yeah, I've heard French people speak English. This is not the accent at all.
No. I mean, it's a choice, right?
Yeah.
It's not a error. It's just a choice. Most of the movie was shot in a studio in London, but they did shoot 2 weeks in Paris. So oh, I love that shot.
Hope I just saw a spoiler. I don't know if that spoils much, but it's a cool one. I'll mention later.
Is it in the spoilers section?
No, but it discusses something in the movie.
Hmm. There's apparently supposed to be a Nintendo DS game for this movie. It was never made. If you don't include the credits, the movie is exactly 2 hours long. That's cool. That's young Jude Law.
That should be illegal. Oh, stupid.
It's just amazing. I love the IMDb trivia fact. Quote, this movie takes place in 1931. Oh, great. I never would have guessed that.
I just found a great fact. Chloe Grace Moretz lied about being British when she auditioned for the role. She auditioned for a movie. She said Scorsese was only going to hire a British girl, so she pretended to be from England. That her parents were horse breeders and that they lived in Cotswolds. And then a month in the production, he's like, "Wait, are you just doing an American accent?" I was like, "No, I'm American."
Gosh.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I was actually literally just reading that. I don't know where I know her from. She's in things though. She was in Kick Butt. She was in Tom and Jerry. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I probably know her from Bolt. Um, she was definitely in stuff.
She was the voice of Wednesday Addams in, I guess, one of
The
the
Addams
animated
Family
versions.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I know, I guess probably Kick Butt was the movie I know her from. I don't know. I've never seen that movie, but I know like I know of her, which is weird.
She was on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And Muppets Most Wanted as a newspaper girl. Oh, fire!
She was definitely not British.
Yeah.
Do you recognize that guy? That was Jack Nicholson's right hand man in The Departed.
The Departed.
And he didn't change his accent one bit. Pack your things. There's always a devastating scene. It just
She
feels
was
the
in
watch.
this. I'm laughing. This is an actual. What is this a movie? I guess this is a movie. She was the voice of Darby in Tigger and Pooh in a musical too.
Yep.
What is that name?
That was a Disney Junior show, or whatever Disney Junior used to be.
That was an hour long.
There was a TV show. Going to school. This movie was suggested by Scorsese's young daughter, Francesca, who was born in '99 and has been in several of his movies.
I'm sorry, I'm doing that math on age right now.
Yep. I was doing that math on age too.
I'm sorry.
Well, wait a second.
1999.
Wait a second,
Yeah,
though.
he was 57.
Yeah. I mean, old, but not
Okay.
not
That's
dirtful.
not a John Tyler.
No.
Do you know his?
No, I don't.
Let me make sure.
I don't even know who John Tyler is, to be honest with you.
The president?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're the only person who knows that, Grant. Congratulations. Now, had you said that's not a Baron Trump, I would have been with you.
I believe John Tyler was president in 1841.
Okay.
He has a living grandson.
Jeez.
He was president from 1841 to 1845.
Gosh.
And
I
I believe his
color
first
in
wife
this.
died. Yeah, the colors are beautiful. I know absolutely nobody cares about this, but his first wife died, and then he married a younger woman, and had more kids with her.
Oh. I love how Grant's like, I know nobody cares, and I would like to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Correct. So he had a kid born in 1860.
During the
When was
early
he
scene,
born?
which introduces the interior of the train station, there are appearances by characters representing Django Reinhardt, James Joyce, Salvador Dali, and Sir Winston Churchill. Just a fun fact.
Mhm. So he had a son when he was 70. And then that son, I believe, kind of did the same thing where he had a wife, the wife passed away, he married a younger woman, had a
And
kid
then-
when he was older, and so he's got his grandson is older. I think his son is 90.
So you said
His
1860? Think about this. That means that
Yeah.
guy was born in 1790.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he has a living grandson.
Exactly. Anyway, back to the movie. 'Cause
Absurd.
this movie is beautiful. It's also very relaxing, other than the fact that this guy's a jerk. But seemingly less of a jerk now. He gave up his little thingy. His kerchief. Oh. Oh.
Oof.
Oh. No, more of a jerk now. Why would you do that to a kid? Oh. Dadgum, man. You make me cry on air.
My dad's running a generator. I don't know if you can hear that or not on the mic. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay. That's exactly what it sounds like.
In books, they're crying all the time. Whoa. She said she was 12.
She's just your toe.
Hey, it's Sir Christopher Lee.
Count Dookus.
Wasn't he also Gandalf? No, he wasn't Gandalf. He was Sauron or Sauron. He was the
Who?
only member of the Lord of the Rings cast that ever met Tolkien.
Interesting. So John Tyler was 63 when one of his sons was born, and then that son was 75 when his son was born.
Wow.
That's absurd to be
He was
75.
definitely Sauron. He was Sauron.
Okay.
He was Sauron in everything Sauron popped up in.
Nice.
Crazy. He was in video games and all kinds of stuff. Truly a treasure.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, he started acting in 1946, which is crazy.
I mean, he lived to be what 90.
93, yeah.
Yeah.
And was acting
trying to
at,
think,
up
93.
through 93. Like,
Yeah.
he had movies that came out 2 years after he died. And he was in Deus Ex and Lego The Hobbit. He was Sauron in Lego The Hobbit. It's weird. Like, those are the same books I grew up reading, like Jules Verne and that sort of thing. Like, it's weird how books don't age, how art doesn't age. In a world where everything is covered in plastic and turns over, like, that artwork is forever. Even though we keep trying to remake it, right? Like, it's fascinating. Movies, for example. I always wanted to make movies. Partially due to this one, actually. Like, I love this movie.
Go away.
He's
No
just
love
a
lost.
dipwad. a little French. Well, I'm not gonna.
French-esque.
What?
French-esque.
I said fix it. I don't care that you burned my. I burned your notebook. I love this movie. The soundtrack is just so good. Like I could do work to the soundtrack. It's very French. It's Ratatouille esque in that kind of whimsical French thing. Such good music. Grant, is this more your speed in terms of movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Making sure. That's the thing about Scorsese. He's done something for everyone and a lot for some
Check
people.
the mouse. Check the mouse.
It's right here. That's definitely not a CGI mouse.
Not at all.
Which is weird. Why would they use CGI on a little mouse? Come to the.
Got a job stealing from you.
No, he keeps the clocks running. Like Superman. I don't love this shirt, man. That guitarist, by the way, was Django Reinhardt.
Django Fett?
Django from Django Unchained? Where's Leo DiCaprio?
Where is Leo?
See, the thing about Scorsese is he works with such good actors. I was telling my mom this today. He works with such good actors, and he is so good at telling stories that his movies like can't help but suck you in. It's remarkable, really. Like this is the kind of movie I would want to make, right? Like these period pieces. I believe his next movie after Killers of the Flower Moon is also going to be a period piece set in like the 1740s. Ooh. Which I believe it was. Oh, I love this. It's just so cool. Come on, man. Your woman's dancing with another dude. And now my baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man. And I will say the sound mixing on this is ridiculous. Like I'm listening in 3D headphones, and it is fantastic.
You know, it sounds very good. Looks very good.
Ah!
Woof.
I love how we treat small children in France. I mean, seriously, like we do a really good job of painting the French bed.
Hmm.
God.
Bill Clinton.
I did not have. The world's first communist. Not really, but he could have been if he wanted to.
Why is my dad talking so loudly? Can you hear him? Okay.
Oh, his father always took him for his birthday. Isn't that sad, Grant?
Yeah.
No! You go.
Hugo first.
No, Isabel, is your dad dead?
We're going on an adventure.
My baseball coach is texting me about when to use weighted balls, which after last year, it's nice to have like some input in anything ever. He's like, for my 14 to 16U teams, I'm trying to figure out when to use them. And I'm like, let's go. Like, it's kind of cool to like be knowledgeable about a thing and have people ask you questions. It's like I should start a podcast or something because I'm knowledgeable about movies. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are just listening, Grant rolled his eyes.
Like 5 times.
Mm-hmm. I love this. This was my first
Harry who's
introduction to-
splatty.
I don't even know where you're going with that.
Just Harry Houdini, but he splats on the ground when he falls.
Who do you think
I don't
Harry
know.
Houdini was?
I know who Harry Houdini was. I'm just being stupid.
Okay, because I was gonna say like this is more Charlie Chaplin. In fact, I think this is a Charlie Chaplin, though I'm not sure. How did you know where they were?
My father will hear about this. Never mind. Do you know that line from Harry Potter?
No, I know very little from Harry Potter. I know there's a dude named Harry Patrick. Was it
Stop
Harry
talking.
Fitzpatrick? Or something like that. I died. I will say these kids can act.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I wish Asa Butterfield had been in a Harry Potter kind of thing that had actually made it. Right, like he kept trying. That said, this is just a fantastic movie. And like, he's obviously not getting Best Actor as a 10, 11, 12-year-old. But he could have.
Mhm.
My father will hear about this.
But there's won't.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. He's an entirely different kid now.
Mm-hmm. Hulk.
About face.
Oh. Where? I don't know that the Doberman believes you. I love Sacha Baron Cohen's accent in this movie. Like, it's almost French, right?
That's what she said.
I will say these commentaries are actually like pretty solid content.
The cut.
Yikes. He keeps saying the same thing. Ah, I love Baron Cohen.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Nice. So the poem that she is reciting there, I'm trying to find it. I was reading about it earlier. It's a birthday by Rossetti, but there's more to it. There was something I was reading about that.
What is he doing?
Climbing the
There is a
ladder.
menace.
Yeah. Whoa. She said she was 12. That's what he said. Such a beautiful film. You go. No, you go. No.
No, you be
go.
quiet.
The music, though, man. Oh, she's all okay, and he just grabbed it. He just needs it. But if you tell me why, of course, that's fine.
Tell me why.
I. Jean Valjean being the one of the lead characters in Les Miserables. For the record. A movie which this is significantly better than, if I do say so myself.
Autumn.
That's what she said.
Run away.
It's such a beautiful movie. Like the soundtrack is just gorgeous. Oh. You can't help but feel for this kid. Like life has kicked him down and
He's
kicked
like
him
12
down.
years old.
If that, yeah. And like life just keeps beating the crap out of the man. And yet here he is, doing his best to do his best. Like it's honestly quite beautiful. There we go. There's my lighting the way I want it. The purple from the Cultured Nerd.
Just like oaf. Imagine.
That is so cool. All the gears. My gosh. It's just awesome. This is the first movie I've seen in a while. We don't know anybody who knows anybody in.
I'm sure we can make distant connections, but
I mean, if we tie ourselves to Marty, yeah. I mean, that's the easy one, right? Well, except me and my boy Asa, growing up in the streets of London town.
all right, so he's gone now. Gone forever.
My father will hear about this.
I love that video so much.
This is such a good scene too. And the music, man, it's so perfect. Like these two orphans, man, like just gorgeous. Such a good movie. This is more your speed, isn't it? Vastly.
More than the other ones for sure.
You're just waiting for the Jedi to show up. Anakin shows up and kills the Emperors. Hugo is me in this situation.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be
Unnatural.
Ruining the emotional depth of this scene. Look at the young man cry. If I could just fix it.
Hmm. It's gonna explode.
It's drawing. Drawing.
Drawing.
How many R's can we fit in a word that only has one? It's drawing. Drawer. Imagine saying drawer in British. It's drawing.
The drawer.
Open the drawer.
Open the door. Open the door.
She was drowned. It's the oh wow! It's the man in the moon
Oh my.
getting shot in the eye. Where the man in the moon gets shot in the eye.
Do you still have the file uploaded for the I'm freezing my nuts off?
I do, but it's not the full time. It's just the frozen nuts 10-second clip.
Send that to me.
Why?
Because I was gonna edit it down to just the I'm freezing my nuts off.
You should just. I guess you can't. Okay, I'll. I don't know really.
It's not letting me.
You can't just pull it down. No. I don't know how to get that to you though.
Just add it to the drive or something.
Or I could just send it via Slack like a real person. Hmm. Maybe I don't still have it. I'll have to find it. It's not hard to find. Or if
Not a big deal.
If I do, it's in a weird spot. Gum. I'll have to find it later. Who plays Mama Jean? It's Helen McCrory, who has won awards in her own right. Nothing amazing. She was Narcissa Malfoy in the Harry Potter movies.
That's Narcissa?
Yeah.
I can kind of. I honestly, actually, no, I don't see it. It's the makeup.
She
I
looks
don't
very
see it.
different than she does even in like her IMDb pictures.
Yeah. Great actress in Harry Potter as Narcissa, especially in Deathly Hallows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my father will hear about this.
I hate you. Quick, hide.
Quick, get in the closet.
I specifically requested it.
That's what she said.
A bit better.
Splendid.
Hmm. I can't see any way for this to go horribly wrong. Women.
Though,
I just insulted half of our audience.
I doubt.
I doubt a lot. You know this. I overthink things. I doubt quite a bit. I doubt myself most of the time. Ooh, I wonder, could this box have been meant to be secret? Hmm.
Is this chair about to fall over?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Did she say she was 12? Wow, those are some magic papers.
Harry Potter.
Uh-oh. Ben Kingsley's like, what the devil is going on here? I'm French.
Oui, oui.
Did you really?
No.
This is how you. I love the mustache, man.
Thank you.
I was watching Seinfeld today, and he's like, I cut somebody off in traffic, and she gave me the finger. She's like, I've never understood, or he's like, I've never understood why sticking a finger up is like supposed to make me feel bad. What really made me feel bad is if someone gave me the toe. It's like you have to take off the shoe on the side. This is such a like heart-wrenching movie, and I'm sitting here making toe jokes. And then the color mutes, and red suddenly becomes the pop. You see the pop on his jacket, like, but yet her red stripes don't pop, and all of a sudden everything's pale, incredibly pale. And it's gorgeous.
Like the heart of the traveler.
I hate you. Or like the tone of the movie at the moment. Like, this is legitimately good color grading. There's a reason it won an Oscar for cinematography.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the reason is you weren't voting. Today's the day Grant catches strays.
Gonna catch a stray.
Dang, he bumped into another old British guy.
So this one's nice.
Yeah, because Sir Christopher. Volume. I love his voice. My father and I.
He's great as Dukas.
He's just great. His voice is so good. Like, he and Morgan Freeman have that same voice, kind of, right? Like, it's that
That quality.
Well, it's that same depth and tone. His is a little more Caucasian sounding, almost like he's a little more Caucasian, but like it's still that. Like, I could sit there and just listen to him narrate, right? The question is, did Christopher Lee ever play God?
I don't think so.
Darn.
It's an awful smile. Look at that smile.
It's such an awkward smile. He's such an awkward person. But like a nice guy. He's a genuinely nice guy when he's not talking to orphans for some reason.
Mm-hmm. The way he's standing behind her.
This man is as smooth as I am.
You've been struck by a smooth criminal.
He's as stiff as that leg. That was a low blow. Good gosh. Again, about as smooth as a guy who was homeschooled for 12 years. gosh. Again, he's a nice guy. You feel bad for him, despite the fact that he mistreats children and the elderly. Darn. I'd ask which war, but like this is 1931, so
World War V.
World War VI. Are you kidding? That's where we're heading. We're done. Darn. Not to make it. I'm not gonna make the Battlefield 1 joke. Oh, she's giving him a flower because he's a soldier. And the light's coming back. But just on our boy, Monsieur Inspector, who, again, is kind of a jerk to the children and the elderly. But not all that terrible of a guy. Let's see if I can edit a thing real quick. Hmm. I wonder why they titled it the way they did. All right, I'm going to try to do a clip of this without getting us sued.
I'm scared. Which I should be because you have gotten something taken down before for a video. Oh, he did.
Darn, he's very much alive. Thank you very much. Maybe because I'm telling the truth. Méliès was a real person, by the way. Shh. Okay, I've got the video uploading. That's a beautiful studio. All right, so I have the clip. Are you ready?
I don't know what to expect.
You're a narcissist? You're a sociopath? You're probably a psychopath. You're paranoid, sexist, and you make fun of the elderly. Those are just quirks!
What? Why?
Well, because that's what the inspector is.
Should have been in the conversation I was having after my psychology class today. That was a fun one.
This guy is like us. He's like, I know a guy who knew him. Oh, so gorgeous.
That's a greenhouse. I think it's gonna get hot.
It's gorgeous.
Why are they in?
Because how do you think they film movies, Grant? Do you think they had CGI?
Is this supposed to be crab costumes?
You shall see. You shall see. Again, this is a real guy, and these are like recreations of real films.
I know, I'm just laughing.
No, it's hilarious, but like also beautiful in its own way.
It's a lobster.
You're a lobster. Your mom. I like that we were both going there.
This guy's balder than me.
You look around and you'll see an absolute acid trip. It's whimsical, isn't it?
All right, so if anybody's still here, because this could be a random conversation, type the word bald in the comments for another entry.
Into our giveaway.
So I have an idea, and I want to get your thought on this. I've not discussed this idea with anyone, genuinely.
Okay. Shave your head,
First-
Grant.
Well, that's what this is leading to.
I know. Shave your head.
So we have a scout event in November, and I was gonna try to make an incentive with our chapter. If our chapter wins the chapter competition, they can shave my head.
That's brilliant, but I'm going to throw this out to you. There is a decent chance it never grows back. You would be bald forever, Grant. I wouldn't do
It
that.
doesn't have to be shaved. It can be like it doesn't have
No.
to be clean shaven.
I'm telling you, there is a good chance it never grows back.
My youth pastor did it, and his hair grew back.
It does sometimes. Don't get me wrong, but you might have to check out Bosley. Of course, we know Jeff Bosley, so it's cool. No. Here's our guy. A little bit of je ne sais quoi. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so have these people really never wondered who keeps the clocks wound? And has nobody ever dropped a wrench? Oh, I forgot. His uncle died, and they didn't say anything.
Could do a buzz cut too. Just
Yeah, I can see it. I'm going
I'm just
mine
thinking
out.
something. I
I'm
was thinking
growing mine out.
something like that.
Yeah, you should.
Be
Maybe
fun.
do it. Maybe grow out the beard and have him shave the beard.
Well, I was thinking keep the beard,
Oh goodness,
shave the head.
you'll look like Ben Kingsley in this movie.
Yeah.
I love this movie. And that guy.
Part of me-
You're a narcissist? You're a sociopath? You're probably a psychopath. You're paranoid, sexist, and you make fun of the elderly. Those are just quirks!
Part of me just wants to see what I would look like if I was bald, though.
Then put on the bald filter, Grant. Don't shave your head.
No, it's not as fun.
You underestimate how long it takes hair to grow back. You would be bald for at least 3 months, if not for the rest of your life.
That is not true.
It absolutely is true. It takes a long time for hair to grow back. I like this quote. This movie has a lot to say for a kid's movie. That's what she said. I'm just going to go ahead and say, maybe we can fix him. The music, beautiful. This was written by Howard Shore, for the record. The music was wonderful. But I didn't. She said she was an orphan. Makes her immune to your mom's joke. Okay, that is a wonder. Oh, I love that shot. Sorry, this thing has been all over the place. Oh, my favorite scene. They're not like Legos. It's a good saying. Again, kind of deep for a kids movie. Not even gonna lie. Get back. Get back, she said. Don't say a word. No, I'm not sure about nothing.
You know, I am planning to keep growing the beard at least through that. That'd be in about a month.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm planning on growing mine out as well. That and my hair.
I don't know how much more length I'll go for, but at least keep it.
Yeah. Peppermint oil and avocado oil mixed together are really good for filling in the patches I hear. Aw, she French kissed him. With a British accent. And French. That's worth cutting out. I'm not even going to lie. That and the scene. What did he say? That and the scene from the movie. Like side by side or whatever. Okay, imagine going to sleep every night with that thing just going.
Let me
I say we push somebody on the train tracks today. Woo!
My other thought, though, is it a good idea to yeet this off just before Thanksgiving and then it's going to be cold?
No, Grant, it's a terrible idea. There is a
But fine.
legitimate chance it never comes back. Like, I'm not even like being a jerk about it. That is a thing that happens. People shave their hair and it never comes back.
Part of the game. Got to risk it for the biscuit, you know what I mean?
Dost thou? Cabrera-Fils Hortages. It says Cabrera and Son. And it's really a piece.
Watch out, you're about to get flattened. Knees weak, arms are heavy. The track is shaking already. Why is the train going there anyways? Because that ain't a track.
All I'm saying is, he going.
Well, because
Flex tape can't fix that. But a dream sequence can. I got a text from a Grant Skellin with a timestamp.
crazy.
Nuts.
Huh. Oof. Oof. Next on 60 Minutes. There's a mysterious ticking noise.
What's that clicking noise?
Wait, do you know that video?
I do not. Do you know that comedian? What's that ticking noise?
Hold on, I've got a video for you.
This one is a guy we were actually supposed to interview. I meant to follow up on it. I never did. Henry Cho. His wife is from Arab, Alabama. Wow. That was a dream sequence within a dream sequence. This is Inception. The year Inception came out.
Watch this video later.
I'll watch it right now with it turned all the way up, Grant. And you'll just have to deal
Potter
with it.
Puppet Pals, the mysterious ticking
good
noise.
Lord. Yeah. I've seen that, unfortunately.
Snape. Severus
Severus
Snape.
Snape.
Tomorrow!
Claude Cabaret. Well, he's dead. Or as Jack Nicholson would say, he fell funny.
There's a mysterious ticking noise.
What's that clicking noise?
I may or may not have that video playing in the background, but that's not here
I
nor
hate
there.
I hate you. Deceased. What is that accent? I guess it's almost French. No relatives. And I'll make sure. I just want to know how long this man's been dead. Like, the dog's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish I knew. And it's that weird dude I barked at that you made fun of his face. She said she was sweat.
I'm about to edit an abomination.
your face into the video. You're catching strays, man. What is the meaning of this? Can we compare, sir? Which one? Ooh. Ooh. And they won't know what we know. Since the nice kid brought up his old work. Whoa. And they won't know. Both of them. You know what else inspired me?
In a galaxy far, far away.
It was exactly like that.
What is that mysterious ticking noise?
Gosh, I hate you.
I had to.
I know you did. Doesn't mean I hate you any less. Uh-oh, here comes...
Hopefully that doesn't get us taken down. I can't imagine it would.
I can't imagine it would either. This movie competed with 12 Oscars. War Horse is a movie I've never seen because my dad watched it right after it came out and told me it was absolutely terrible, despite the fact that it was nominated.
Here comes the sun.
This is a beautiful little piece, isn't it? This is actually one of his films. This whole scene was supposed to take 10 minutes, but Scorsese cut it down because he didn't figure he could get away with showing 10 minutes of his work. It's remarkable, really. Like how it's just pretty. Is that you? It's you, Mama. It's you, Mama. I love French culture. If they just weren't such jerks. This is such a beautiful little movie. Again, like I bring out that Scorsese is really good at this. This movie has a tiny little scope, right, into a massive city, and we see glimpses of that bigger picture, but yet it's so much about this kid in this movie that like we forget that all that is happening. It really truly is beautiful. I will say, Grant, I can totally hear you breathing.
Could you actually?
What's that taking noise?
What is that mysterious ticking noise?
It's so perfect.
I did not expect this movie to make me cry. Christian Bale was a better musician.
At least a little bit more like Narcissa there.
Yeah, well, she's aged up, right? Like, yeah. Automatons. Recognize him?
No, not at all.
Cinematography. Gorgeous. And had sung that song about being our guest. That's a deep cut.
That goes back. We reviewed. What did we review? The new one.
Jeez. 2021? Been 2 or
It
3
was
years.
20 or 21.
It's been a while. That was with Sophia and Lawson, I believe. That
Wasn't
was
it?
back when Sophia and Lawson made guest appearances on our podcast. That was back when I knew Lawson. Weird.
We don't know him anymore.
We should have them on the show sometime.
We should.
It's such a wonderful story. Like, that's the thing about this movie. It's a fictionalized version, but it's such a wonderful story. That's one heck of a dragon. So the train station in this movie is the Gare Montparnasse, which I probably butchered. The real life Georges Méliès worked as a toy maker at that station after World War One. The derailment scene during Hugo's dream is a reference to the infamous 1895 derailment at that station.
That episode was December 18th, 2020.
Wow.
Grant.
Wow.
It doesn't. The description doesn't say if Lawson and Sophia were in it.
Maybe they weren't. They were in. I know they were in Alice in Wonderland, but we should still have them back. That would be fun. Tell you what, if you want to reach out to them and try to figure that out, we can. It really is cool.
And bald.
No, the movie's fantastic. That's what I'm saying. And tree caught on fire. And pyrotechnics.
Great walls of fire.
That was stupid. Sad. And like understandable, but stupid.
Oof. I can hear your breathing now.
It's sad.
You got a blueberry biscuit in there.
I can hear you, bro.
He just got home.
I had a blueberry biscuit somewhere.
Vroom vroom. I'm in my mum's car.
It's such a beautiful film. In
You're about to go
every
run
way.
and carry a robotic upper human half through the middle of downtown. Paris.
Paris. No,
Feliz
I mean,
Navidad.
it's such a beautiful film, though, in every way, right? Like just the romance about it, right? Not even like traditional romance, but like old traditional romance. Just this environment, the air about it is just wonderful. The little puppy. Oh, he's a cute little puppy. No. Ooh.
Fight, 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 fight.
That is one ugly man. I feel bad for saying that because, well, this movie's 12 years old and he doesn't look like he would have made it, but still. I just really went after that guy. That was Richard Griffiths.
I think that lady is in Harry Potter too.
That's possible. Richard Griffiths was also in Harry Potter. He was Uncle Vernon.
That was Vernon?
That was Vernon. And I just insulted him, man. He died on my birthday in 2013.
Yeah, she was Madame Maxime. She was the tall lady in Harry Potter.
Mm.
That means nothing to you, but
No, I mean this movie. Why would you say this? Like, look, I'm
With a
bad with women.
smile.
I am god awful with women. They found his corpse down there by the riverside. It's been there for decades.
Way down yonder by the Chattahoochee.
Have a heart in front of the woman that you love.
You're a narcissist? You're a sociopath? You're probably a psychopath. You're paranoid, sexist, and you make fun of the elderly. Those are just quirks!
I'd straight to the orphanage with you. You. So, to be clear, he's been doing just fine without a family. Now Borat has kidnapped a child. Walking about. Good thing all French people carry hairpins. Such a beautiful film. I'm sorry, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. And I'm remembering why I used to love it so
Like how he goes from struggling to walk to just like running, and then now he's limping.
No, he was limping in the run. Oh. Oh, we got a dog. We got a dog, ladies and gentlemen. A dog.
A doge.
Look at it. Doggy Hauser.
No, just came.
Specific question. I like that my background is sort of purple because of my computer lights. It's kind of cool. also like that I have a jawline now. Also, I just want to point out how wrong audiences are about this movie. A 78? Are you kidding me?
So we got the jump.
I don't know. Was Marvin the Martian a Martian from Mars?
I'm scared because there's something very similar to that I'm hoping you don't mention.
Was John Carter of Mars?
No.
I don't know what
It's
it
an
is.
even older reference.
Text it to me.
Hmm?
Text it to me.
No. No, this reference I hope is dead, gone forever.
I don't remember the reference.
Okay.
Was Herman a Lerman? I wonder if I can still find that meme.
It's the thumbnail for that episode.
Herman the Lerman.
No, literally, if you go on the account, it is, I believe, the thumbnail picture for that episode
I'll look
still.
and see.
I've
That's
got I've just let me find it.
Pull it up and post it because Herman was a Lerman.
If I can.
He was Herman the Lerman. I love how though you just saying I hope it never comes back is what jogged my memory.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shows
Hugo's
you how
climbing
much of
down
it-
from a clock covered in snow. Again, such a beautiful movie. Like every shot is framed wonderfully, which it should be because the book was an illustration book. It was a picture book. I don't even believe it had many words at all. I've read it. I can't. It's been a long time though. I don't remember. Grant, would you say this is similar to Scorsese's other works that you've seen?
No.
Exactly. I couldn't believe this was one of his. Like I still don't think of it as one of his. Honestly.
Yeah.
Whoa! We're just kicking peasants. No. No.
I believe I can.
Oh
fly.
gosh.
I believe I can touch the sky.
No. No. Oh. There's a boy. I want to point out we should have been hitting the brakes a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Do you care? Again, you're a narcissist. A sussy. I'll tell you why he died. Because they didn't want to pay Jude Law for more than 3 minutes of screen. Jeez. You're an orphan yourself. Well, he was a dipwad. And through the power of movies, now he's a nice guy. And Asa Butterfield is still a fantastic actor. I said what I said. And I did what I did. I did it for love. Ah. Well,
I cannot find that episode right now.
Hmm.
I can find it on my phone with the thumbnail, but on the website, it's not showing me. I've used my phone as my webcam right now, so
I'll take a look, see if I can find it real quick.
like it should be the thumbnail for the episode because the last I checked, it still was. So it should be pretty easy to find.
It is.
Oh, she likes him because he saved the child that he was trying to get taken to a.
I found it, but I can't pull the image. I can only screenshot the image.
Oh, this is about to be cursed, isn't it?
It's gonna be as low res as it can be. All right, now I have to slack it to you and pull it. Which is impressive because remember, he had them all burned.
He tried to destroy him. Yeah.
That now exists in our Through the Monocle collection.
Oh gosh.
This is such a wonderful movie. Hey, look, it's Asa Butterfield, but not disheveled.
No way.
It's almost like having a famous godfather you can afford a shower. Jeez, I'm mean to this. Such a beautiful film. I didn't realize Ben Kingsley played Gandhi in Gandhi. And I'm not even kidding. I have to save this image.
That was a cool entrance to that. If you didn't see it,
It was a wonderful entrance to that. I did see it. I love that entrance to that. By the way, I figured out how to get rid of the image issues. But yeah, Ben Kingsley is Gandhi. I don't know who saw Gandhi and is like, Ben Kingsley.
The director.
I don't know how Ben Kingsley still has a career.
Robert Downey Jr. does too.
Yeah, but Robert Downey Jr. did it as a joke. Ben Kingsley played Gandhi. That'd be like Robert Downey Jr. playing Martin Luther King.
Yep.
Such a beautiful film.
Because he's a bum.
Oh, the guy got the girl. They created a tuxedo for the automaton here, but Scorsese wanted to show the gears, which I think was the proper call.
Mm. So, fun fact: he showed the three of clubs there, the magic trick. That's a reference to Penn and Teller.
Mm-hmm. The film is
Those random
exactly
guys.
2 hours long.
Yeah, those random guys, Penn and Teller.
Directed by Martin Scorsese. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most beautiful films I have ever seen. And I mean that honestly, and I believe it's well deserved. It is such a beautiful film. And I hope that we edified you enough to justify spending 2 hours with us as we rambled on about Grant's hair.
Nobody's still here. Let's be honest.
Nobody's still here. But if you are, congratulations. If you're not, you'll see this at my funeral. And without further ado, I'm going to kick you. Hello, and welcome to Through the Monocle. Today we will be discussing our opinions on 2011's Hugo. As always, I'm your host, Grant Ingram, and joining me today, it is the Sacha Baron Cohen to my Hugo Cabret. It is Grant Skillen. And yes, I said that just because Skillen has a tendency to violently accost me at times. How are you doing?
You can't say that.
I just did. And Grant, for the record, just for the record.
You're a narcissist? You're a
What is that mysterious ticking noise?
Hate you. All right. So we just set through Hugo, which is a wonderful little film. And I should mention beforehand, it is the only film not in our giveaway collection that we are going to be talking about this month. And if you want to win this little giveaway, if you want to enter the giveaway, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment the answer to this week's question: should Skillen shave his hair? And if you want bonus entries, you can do that by watching the other episode. We have a different question. There's a whole thing about that. But to be honest, I don't know that we have an entry yet. So you have a pretty darn good chance of winning. As a matter of fact, I might enter it myself. I'm kidding.
Insider trading. How dare you?
Anyway, Grant. Hugo. What do you think? It's
movie good.
This is the first time you've said this is the first time you've not said I get why people like it, but it's not for me. Since we started watching Scorsese, so what about this one is?
It's a very good movie. I mean, if anybody stayed throughout the watch along, Grant was talking about all of the different awards this thing won.
A lot of awards.
Especially for I'm gonna screw this up, but is it cinematography? Just the way it was shot.
Yes, it definitely won cinematography.
Yeah, the audio, like the music.
The music. So here I'm pulling up the IMDb Oscars.
My brain.
It got nominated for a ton of Oscars. And it won 2. It did not win one, however, for Ben Kingsley's, as seen here's performance as Georges Méliès. So it was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Director. It was nominated for Best Writing, Best Adapted Screenplay, I should say. It won Best Achievement in Cinematography. It was nominated for Best Film Editing. It was nominated for Best Costume Design. It was nominated for Best Music Written for Motion Pictures. It did not win the Oscar. It won the Oscar for Best Sound Mixing. It won the Oscar for Best Sound Editing. It won the Oscar for Best Achievement in Visual Effects, and it won the Oscar for Best Achievement in Art Direction. I would argue that score should have won just for its Frenchness, but that's just me. I mean, it just sounds French. When I think of a baguette, that's the music I hear. That is going to be a
no, it's not. But it's I mean, just like the Oscar shows, even just the ones it was nominated for, it's a very well shot movie.
Mm-hmm.
The music is great. The art is great. The costumes are great. The visuals, like the way he uses colors and manipulates them, that's great too. I mean, overall, it's a beautiful movie. The story is good. I feel like I didn't get as invested until the second half of the movie, personally, but it's still a very good movie.
To be fair, I think part of that might have been we were kind of joking over the emotionally impacted.
That is true. That is true.
I remember, like, okay, by the second half, I was in tears for a brief minute. Like, you saw that. This movie punches you in the gut, and then it punches you again, and it punches you again, and then all of a sudden there's some Sacha Baron Cohen Borat beating up an orphan.
Yeah, limping around with his screwed up leg.
Yeah, but it's such a beautiful movie about like the early days of cinema, and that was unexpected. I remember seeing it the first time and not expecting that at all. Of course, I was 8, but still.
Yeah, no, it is very interesting. Like you're saying, it's almost not something that you expect, and that it's actually, I don't know how historically accurate it is. I mean, obviously, it can't be fully, but it is still very
I
interesting.
don't think it's a true story. I know Georges Méliès was like a real person. I know the films that were attributed to him were his actual films, and I know that that most of his story was accurate. Hugo was not a person.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
I'm not sure that Hugo in the book even had anything to do with that early part of film. I'm not sure. I can't remember, to be honest with you. But to me, going into it, that early bit with the automaton, I hope this is a message from my father because, yada, yada. And then it being a message from her grandfather. Like that to me is just beautiful. I love the line, and I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm gonna try to find the actual quote on IMDb, because it's one of my favorite quotes. It's a quote that has stuck with me for years, just in spirit. Obviously, I don't remember it exactly. Okay, there's maybe that's why a broken machine always makes me a little sad because it isn't able to do what it was meant to do. Maybe it's the same with people. If you lose your purpose, it's like you're broken. But the quote that stays with me. This is my best British Asa Butterfield. I'd imagine the whole world was one big machine. Machines never come with any extra parts, They always come with the exact amount they need. So I figured if the entire world was one big machine, I couldn't be an extra part. I had to be here for some reason. And that means you have to be here for some reason too. That's a beautiful line in a... Like, not that this is a kid's movie, not that this is a cartoon or a movie for children, but it is rated for children. I saw it as a child, and I would recommend you watch this with your children, especially if they like movies.
Yeah, it's definitely not Goodfellas. I can assure you of that.
Joe Pesci doesn't show up in the middle of it. Now, Borat does beat up an orphan.
Or Sam Jackson. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sam Jackson. Ooh.
Yeah. A couple of fun trivia facts about this movie. Christopher Lee was born in 1922, making him the only actor to have been alive in the age that the movie was set in.
Which, to be clear, was 1931. Was when it was set in 1931 Paris.
Yeah. Yeah. James Cameron saw a screening of this and called the movie a masterpiece and told him that it was the best use of 3D that he'd ever seen, including Cameron's own movies.
Which
And
include
this
at this point
was,
Avatar.
yeah, and this was Scorsese's first movie with 3D in it.
Well, Scorsese has never done anything half-heartedly.
Mhm.
I say that. I've only ever seen the movies that are like his
But
masterpieces.
for
or
his
whatever.
first attempt at 3D to be better than James Cameron and Avatar,
That's incredible.
not that Avatar was perfect, but for James Cameron to say that, like,
It's impressive. And I will also say he did go through a 2-week intensive before filming this to learn to do it in 3D because they shot it in 3D. It wasn't an After Effect. I also want to use this moment to hop on a soapbox. 3D is such a cool effect in movies. I hate that it doesn't get preserved. Like once the movie leaves theaters, that 3D you can never find again. And it used to show up on Blu-rays, and the 3D TV used to be a thing. But like, there's got to be some way to do it.
there has to be some way.
Like if they can project it, like you would think that those glasses would work on like a TV or even like a projector. Like I don't know, but like I would love to find that. Like maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but like if that is something that was said about this movie, I would love to see this movie in 3D.
Another fact to go with that is that Scorsese directed it with 3D clip-on lenses on his prescription glasses. Which, I mean, just stop.
I'm mocking people who wear glasses.
But I mean, it makes sense.
That's not okay. I'm a horrible person.
Yes, you are.
By extension, you're a horrible person.
No, because I do not approve of that. I was cringing at that. But it is cool because then he could direct it in 3D so he could see what it was going to look like as he was directing it.
I wonder what that process is like. Like, I'd just love to see, like...
Yeah, that has to be interesting.
Because you obviously don't see it in real life, right? Like, I guess you have to look at it through a camera. Like, that's fascinating. And
Yeah,
I mean...
you mentioned earlier... Go ahead.
The film is so well directed. Like, he works with children who are notoriously difficult to work with, and they are fantastic actors in this movie.
Yeah, I work with you all the time, and it's really difficult, so I can't imagine.
I hate you. Gosh.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that this was a PG-rated movie. This was his first one in 18 years. The last one was The Age of Innocence in 1993.
Starring Daniel Day-Lewis, as we discovered during recording.
Yeah, and he took a break from that to do some other like PG-13 movies. Goodfellas.
And The Aviator. The Aviator is on that list, and The Aviator is actually PG-13.
Goodfellas is not PG-13, right?
Yeah, Goodfellas is 80s PG-13. Made in 1990 when it was rated R.
Yeah. He won the same number of Academy Awards for this movie as he did for The Aviator. Which
won him... which got snubbed for Best Picture and Best Director, despite being a fantastic movie, as we'll see next week. The Aviator was also, at one point, my favorite movie ever. It's now like number 2 or 3.
This one also was nominated but lost for Best Picture and Best Director.
Yeah, well, and it should have been, because, duh. It's a beautiful movie. Like, it is just all around, like Grant said earlier, the cinematography, the music, all of that, amazing. But the story, also fantastic. Like, it is incredibly well written, incredibly well acted. Like, everything about this movie screams Best Picture, except for the fact that I'm trying to remember who won Best Picture in 2012. Somebody like deserved it. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up because I know for a fact somebody deserved it. The Artist won it, and that's another homage to silent cinema. It's a French-made film. Yeah. Anyway.
Interesting. Grant mentioned it during the episode and then as the movie ended, but if you do not include the credits, the movie is exactly 2 hours long, which is random, but cool. Because then you can go, how long did it take? Oh, 2 hours.
I say 2 hours. It was 2 hours and 5 seconds, but I'm assuming they're not counting like the opening crawl or whatever.
Yeah.
The budget of this movie, they say, was $150 to $170 million. I can't believe that. I don't know where they figured that
is-
out. That seems ridiculously high.
Was Hugo?
It was
the
originally
real-
budgeted $100 million. That's so weird. It barely made if it really was 150 to 170, it didn't make its money back.
Really?
It only made 185 million. But then made another 35 million in home video revenue, which is probably mostly due to my family because we own like 3 copies of it. It's the
Your
final
family-
film to feature the 2002 to 2011 Paramount Pictures logo, as they adopted a new opening logo for the next month. Interesting.
That is very interesting.
Oh, it's a good movie. Like, it's a
Yeah.
really, really good movie.
Ben Kingsley based his characterization of George on Martin Scorsese.
That's
he used a Marty. Good
you know,
old Marty.
this was regarded as one of 2011's most notable flops, despite the fact that everyone who saw it seemed to love it.
And it was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
It's so strange. I don't know why this movie flopped. Critics loved it. The audience didn't necessarily love it, but the audience liked
I don't
it.
know why audiences didn't love it. Roger Ebert loved it, which I mean, but like, why didn't audiences like the movie? I mean, cinema score for this was a B+ on an A+ to F scale, which is not
Mhm.
great.
Which is a good movie, though. Like,
It's a solid movie, but it's not fantastic. I'm trying to
Mhm.
figure out like what the general audience consensus on this film was, because like there's got to be something. People say it's overlooked. It says it takes forever to get off the ground. I'm just going to read from Stephen S. Rotten Tomatoes. He gave it a 3-star. This film takes forever to get
Spielberg?
off the ground. The first half hour is so incredibly boring. I don't even care about Hugo for most of it. I would rather have seen a movie that focused on Georges Méliès instead. He misspelled Méliès. He's a far more interesting subject. My main problem with the film, though, is that it doesn't know what it wants to be. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be magical or gritty, depressing or uplifting, or just a snapshot of life in Paris post World War I. And look at all of the characters of the train station in their daily lives. Now, it could be any of these things, but it doesn't do any of them particularly well. Otherwise, this movie would have been so much better. The last 20 minutes or so really salvages this movie, though, thankfully. If you watch this film, don't expect too much out of it.
I can agree with the first 30 minutes being a little slow. The rest of it I would disagree with. I think there's not a ton of story at the beginning.
I disagree. I think the problem with the first 30 minutes is some people didn't like that the story wasn't about what the story ended up being about. Because in the middle of the movie, it shifts, right? It goes from being about Hugo trying to fix this robot to this robot tying Hugo forever to this film great. So I can understand that, but to say I don't care about Hugo is to just go, look, man, you don't care about orphans? What are you, Sacha Baron Cohen's character? Like, I get it,
Yeah.
but you're also wrong. Like, that's just kind of how it is. It is a good snapshot of post-World War II. It is both depressing and uplifting, just like life is. Sorry, I'm ranting against a random Rotten Tomatoes review.
Okay. There is a funny factual error with this movie.
It says everyone is fictional, right? But Georges Méliès was a real person. Well, that's just a legal disclaimer.
It's still funny, though.
Yeah, it is.
All persons in this film are fictional.
Except
Fictional?
for the one it's about.
I said fictional. I'm stupid.
I would be interested to know if Goodfellas had the same disclaimer. Because I think all of them kind of have to keep from being sued.
Sorry, repeat what you said.
I would be interested to know if Goodfellas had the same disclaimer.
That is a good question.
I don't know how based on true stories work. But I think we both agree this is a really good movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It is. I would argue it's kind of between the audience and the critic score is what I would give it.
See, I think the critics were right on, personally.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, like in 85 or so. Like I'm not that far off of it.
Yeah, no, you're not. I think that the audience score is really low, and I couldn't quite tell you why. Like none of it really. Like, even if you think the movie could have been other things, like, it isn't. and on its own, it's very good.
Yeah, I don't know. Almost wonder if maybe part of it has to do with the fact that it's just different than what Scorsese's normally done, and so people are like, I don't know if I like this different style.
That's possible. And now I will say, Scorsese has a reputation, right? He makes a lot of mob movies,
Mhm.
but he doesn't really make a lot of mob movies.
Just a couple good ones. If
No,
you like
he,
that type.
he has made like 3 or 4 really great ones. Gangs of New York, Raging Bull, which is a fantastic movie we'll watch at some point. Goodfellas, I guess Mean Streets is sort of a mob movie. Or I guess Mean Streets is just a mob movie. Never mind. And then Casino are the ones I can think of. But if we look at Scorsese's like stuff leading up to Hugo, he also made The Irishman, which is a fantastic mob movie. He makes a lot of really good mob movies. But leading up to Hugo, he had made good lord, I've scrolled past it. Okay. He had produced, I gotta find just as a director. Okay. Wait, I think I just axed his. There we go. All right. So he directed a George Harrison documentary. He did The Departed, which is a mob movie. Did The Aviator, which is not a mob movie at all, and we'll watch that next week. He did. Let's see. I'm trying to find like some bigger things that he did. Cape Fear, which is fantastic. I believe somewhere in here is that's a little later. There's another movie he did, Shutter Island. He did beforehand, not mob movie. He did The Last Temptation of Christ, starring Willem Dafoe as Jesus. He did The King of Comedy, which is a fantastic movie. He did The Color of Money in '86 with Paul Newman and Tom Cruise, and that's fantastic. He did Taxi Driver. Like, he did a lot of mob movies. But he didn't do all mob movies. Heck, he did The
not
Age of
all,
Innocence.
but quite a lot of them.
No, for sure. No, I'm just saying he has that reputation because those have been his greats, right?
But
it's not all mob movies. Like, it is different from his normal, but it's not out of left field.
No. But it is interesting that it like just that I think we both agree, just to slightly different extents, that the audience score is low on it.
Yeah.
And I just find that interesting, especially when you said like it might have lost money. Like, there's no reason this movie should have lost money.
It didn't lose money. It just barely broke even. I don't remember how much they marketed it. It's a flop because it didn't make a ton of money. And then it made a little bit of money on the back end because, well, Best Picture nods typically sell DVDs. They made like 35 million off of that, and I'm sure streaming and all that, it's made some money. But I like this movie deserved. I mean, it's not going to. This movie was never going to make $1 billion.
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure.
300 million though. I mean, it was originally budgeted at 100 million, and they went way over budget. So like, that's their fault. But still.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said that it was supposed to be 100 million. It ended up between 150 and 170,
and then raked in 185 at the box office with 35 million DVD sales. So depending on what the marketing budget was, maybe. I don't know. I do know that, like, I'm glad you enjoy this film.
Yeah. People thought Johnny Depp was the guy playing Django Reinhardt.
He was not.
Which he was a producer. Johnny Depp was a producer on the film and was offered a cameo part, but declined it.
Interesting. Like, it's just a good movie. I'm looking forward to seeing Killers of the Flower Moon tomorrow. I'm disappointed that my date got canceled, but I'm looking forward to seeing Killers of the Flower Moon tomorrow. Which is the first time I'll ever see a Scorsese opening night. It'll be the second Scorsese I've ever seen in theaters, and the first one that feels like a true Scorsese. Even though the Scorsese directed by, at this point, is just a mark of quality more than it is a type of movie. Like, Tim Burton makes depression. Scorsese just makes fantastic movies.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where we kind of both are 3 weeks into our month about it.
Yeah, and like I've said in the past two episodes, like the last two movies, Goodfellas and The Departed, just not my type of movie. However, I can recognize how good of movies they are.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. And this is definitely more for me. I wouldn't say it's like entirely for me, but like it's still a very good movie. You can see how like well shot it is. We were talking about at one point, they kind of like made the colors look black and white, even though she was wearing like a red and white shirt.
Mhm.
They made the red look black. It was really interesting.
The color grading is beautiful.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
the word.
changes based on the mood in the movie.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very well shot, very well acted. Don't know how it didn't make more money, but it also is, I guess, wasn't necessarily designed to make a ton of money.
No, it
Almost.
definitely wasn't. Like
So-
it should have. Had they stuck with their budget, it would have made money, but it was never intended to make money. I don't think
Mhm.
many of Scorsese's movies have ever really been intended to make money. If that makes sense, they're just really good movies. And so
Mhm.
good movies have a tendency to make money. For example, Oppenheimer should have never made money, and it it might have even broken $1 billion. I can't remember. But like good movies tend to make money, but sometimes they don't.
Mhm.
And you just go,
sometimes you just
I'm
and other times you
My
get
father will hear about this.
Yeah, like this is one of those of the second time. Now, next week we're talking about The Aviator, which is another one of Scorsese's movies that got snubbed. Like, I'm glad Scorsese finally won his Oscar because, good gosh, he deserved it. Like,
Mhm.
just as a career achievement, like he deserved it.
Yeah, not. I'm looking forward to the movie. I'm not looking forward to the fact that it is 3 hours.
It's gonna be a fun commentary track, but I will promise you, it is a good mix. I think if this one wasn't quite as for you as I thought it was, The Aviator will be. It is a good mix between the two, and it is very charismatic. It is a stare down of one guy, and it is fantastic. Like just royally fantastic.
I
It
guess
also
we
has
shall
John C.
see.
Riley in it. Like I said, it's like probably number 2 or 3 on my top movies of all time list, which is something we should do for this show, by the way.
Mine would be chalked. I'd get roasted.
Yeah, because James Stone would be on it. No, my number 1 movie is a movie nobody's ever seen. I'm convinced it's called Before Sunrise, and if you've seen it, I'll give you a free entry into the giveaway. Just comment and say I've seen Before Sunrise. It'll be one. Grant, there's a whole trilogy of those movies. We're gonna do them around Valentine's Day. They're romance movies. Heck, if I have a girlfriend at that time, we might get her to guest. Oh no, they're beautiful little
Who
movies.
knows?
Who knows? I certainly don't. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, which first off, I don't know how, please
No
help
one's
us
here.
keep the lights on and sit through these. Help me keep buying my little apple pies so I can eat food. You can do that at patreon.com/theculturednerd, and that helps pay for things like the giveaway, which, to remind you, the question is, should Grant shave his hair? Skillen, of course. And just like and subscribe. And yeah. Anyway, as always, I've been your host, Grant Ingram.
And I have been your co-host, Grant Skillen. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Thank you to Jose for the logo and Taylor for the intro.
And thank you, the viewer, for joining us. And if you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe. And heck, then you're 2/3 of the way to entering the giveaway. You might as well just go ahead and tell us, should Grant shave his hair? If you've enjoyed this and you want to check out more of what the Cultured Nerd has to offer, you can scan that little QR code there on the left. I personally guested on the big show, the Cultured Nerd podcast, earlier this week. That was a lot of fun. You can check that out by scanning that little QR code on the left. And if you want more of us, you can check out our other show, which is criminally past overdue for an episode. We need to drop something soon, but Much Talk About Nothing. You can scan that QR code there on the right. That'll take you right to us. I think our last episode, if Grant uploaded it to the podcast, was an interview with Margaret Holzer, and if he didn't, we need to. Anyway, next week we will be talking about The Aviator, and we look forward to seeing you then.